Okay, so first, I'm going to start off with some moisturizer. I'm going to go ahead and hydrate her face and make sure it's nice and glowy. It's going to give it that glow. I'm going to start off with the oil-free moisturizer. Oil-free, so that way it helps glide on and it's not too heavy. Don't use your night creams, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and buff it onto her skin in circular motions.
So this time you are going to prep the skin first?
This time I am, because the shadow's going to be very, very minimal, that I'm not too worried about the fallout. Alright, next, I'm going to put on a face primer. And what a face primer does, it fills in all the lines, any kind of wrinkles or big pores. This will also give us a smooth surface to apply our foundation on. A lot of my customers or my students always say, oh, you know, the foundation breaks me out. That's probably because you're not preparing your skin well enough. So all that makeup goes into the pores and it fills them with all that product that causes a breakout. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and glide that on to her face, just like that. Next, I'm going to get a foundation, and I'm going to use a full coverage foundation because I want it to conceal as much as possible on the face. In the 1950s, they had that beautiful clear skin, so I'm going to make sure to use a full coverage foundation to achieve that look. Okay. And again, I'm using circular motions to buff on that product. It's really, really important to buff on the product. That way it tacks onto your skin. A lot of times when we give our boyfriend a hug or a kiss, it kind of starts coming off. That's because you're just slapping it on. Make sure you buff it on so it stays onto your skin. Okay, and this will also help your product last a long time, and you don't have to use the most expensive product, okay? A foundation from Walmart will last you, your 10 hours coverage if you pack it on. Revlon has really good foundations. I like their foundations. Alright, so next I'm going to get a little bit of a concealer, and I'm going to put that underneath her eyes for the coverage. I want a flawless, flawless look. So I'm applying it under her eye. I'm not pulling, but I'm just applying small little strokes underneath her eye. And I'm also going to go around the eyebrows to bring extra highlight. I'm going to define her eyebrows in a minute. Eyebrows were really, really important because it frames the face. And in the 1950s, they had that natural, classic outgrown eyebrow that were really defined. So I'm going to make sure to create that as well. Just like that. Next, I'm going to actually do my contour with cream products on this application only because I want it to look nice and natural and glowy. So I'm going to get my camouflage palette and create a contour with cream products that's 2 to 3 shades darker than her skin tone, okay? And you can do this with powder products as well. That is optional. I'm going to do it with cream just because I don't want so much texture. I want a nice glow to it, okay? So all I'm doing is circular motions and buffing that product in circular motions. I'm going to do it on her jawline as well. And this is just creating dimension to the face. Next, I'm going to do the exact same thing with a different brush, and I'm going to use a lighter color for my highlight. Look up for me. Just like that. And just to add a little bit extra, I'm going to add an illuminator, which is like a bronze gold, to that highlighter. And I'm going to use this brush. give it a nice glow, and it's going to help me blend as well. And I'm blending around her contour so it looks nice and natural shadows. Alright, so next I'm going to use a translucent powder to set all her makeup. And I'm going to use a regular loose HD translucent powder. I'm going to use a small brush to focus on smaller areas of the face. So I'm going to load my brush, look up. I'm going to tack on that concealer all around the eyes. And this is an extra, really important step, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to tack on your product. Especially under the eye, we have a lot of lines, and your concealer starts setting in. Make sure you use a small brush to set that product, okay? So next, I'm going to get the rest of my translucent powder and just set the face. The reason why I'm going to use translucent powder is because I don't want extra coverage, because I don't want too many layers, okay? So I'm just setting it with translucent powder. You could use your regular powder, that's no problem. I just don't want it to look too fake.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, you know how you did the foundation. If you're gonna use translucent powder, should you pack on a lot of foundation and then put on the powder on top of it, or should you do like a little bit?
It doesn't matter. Foundation is only ideal. It's only gonna even out your skin tone, so you should use that much anyways.
Okay.
Try to avoid using too much foundation. Okay. So next, I'm gonna get a cream eyeshadow base. It's like a soft liquid one. I'm not using the thick creamy one because my eyeshadow is not going to be so intense and heavy. So I just need a soft wash, okay, of eye base. So I'm going to get this cream one. Close your eyes. It has a little bit of shimmer, which is going to help for my eyeshadows to shine through. Just like that. I'm arcing her brow to make sure I put eyeshadow base where she has little wrinkles. Okay, so first I'm going to work really fast, but it's going to be 4 different colors of eyeshadows, okay? And I'm going to use almost the same brush. So first I'm going to start with a light brown, just like this color right here. And I'm going to apply it to her crease, close her eyes, and up to her brow bone. And this is a soft wash. Okay, not a lot, I'm just applying it right onto her upper crease. Next, I'm going to get a small bristle brush. Small bristle brushes are for depositing color. I'm going to go ahead and get a light color, and deposit that onto her eye. Try not using nothing too glittery or shimmery, close your eyes, because it will eat up your brown color. So all I'm doing is depositing a soft wash of a light color from the inner corner on the entire bottom lid. Just like that. I'm going to get a little bit more color and pack it on. Close your eyes. There you go. So a little bit of product goes a long way. Just like that. Next, I'm going to get a smaller blending brush and get right on the crease area with a dark brown color, okay? I'm just going to define it just a little bit more. Close your eye. I'm going to start on the outer crease, blend that product, and bring it forward. Just to create a little bit more dimension. You see that? I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. And this actually helps that light color that we use, give it an extra pop. I'm going to go over that light color just a tad bit.
When you're doing eyeshadows, how many colors do you normally use?
It depends what look I'm doing. I try to use nothing less than 4, only because it helps for blending. I don't use a lot of colors because, oh, I want to use 10 eyeshadows. I do it because it helps with the blending part. So now I'm just adding a little bit of highlight on the corner of the arc, okay? I'm not doing the entire eye. I want it to give dimension to the eye, so I'm only adding it to the brow bone. Just like that. I'm going to fill in her brows before I do her eyeliner. So I'm just using a cream product to shade that in.
And that's best for doing eyebrows, is to use a cream.
It depends. I like to use this one because it's fast for me, opposed to eyeshadows. I'll still set it with an eyeshadow though. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get an angled brush. I'm going to get a dark brown and just set it. And it gives that color an extra pop because that cream product activated with the powder gives an extra pop opposed to applying a lot of eyeshadow.
It gives it like more of a smooth look on the eyebrow.
And when you're using a pencil only, yes, because it's nice and creamy and shiny. Okay, so next I'm going to get a dome brush and I'm going to get the light brown color and I'm going to apply it to the bottom of the eye. And I'm only doing this 3/4 of the way. I'm not doing the entire eye. Next, I'm going to get my dark brown that I use and apply it to the corner of the eye. Just like that. I'm going to get that light color that I used and apply it to the inner corner for the extra pop. I'm going to use a shimmer color for the inner tear duct area for an extra pop. Just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to use a liquid eyeliner to do my eyeliner. To do the wing liner, you could use a gel liner, you could use an eyeshadow, you could use liquid, you could use cream, you could use pencil. There's so many different ways. Whatever works easiest for you. I don't like liquid liner, except certain products, because sometimes I feel as it cracks. I'm going to go ahead and do it because it's a lot faster. If you use cake liner, this works really, really good, and it's activated by water. So it's powder with water. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start right on the corner. Close your eyes. Right at the corner of the eye, I'm just pulling out, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing on both eyes to ensure that they're even. At first, I don't care how black it is, I just want my guideline, okay? Halfway through the angle, right in the middle, I'm going to pull down to the center of the eye. Close your eye. So right in the middle of the angle, I'm pulling straight to the middle of the eye to create my outline. I'm doing the same thing on the other eye. And it creates a little triangle on the corner of the eye. All I'm going to do next is fill in that eyeliner. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Open your eye. Close it. Look up. And I'm adding a little bit on the bottom to connect the corners, okay? Next, with a little bit of gel liner, I'm going to get an angled brush and apply this black underneath her eyes. And I'm only going to add it close. Close here? Okay, let me let this dry for a second. And I'm only going to apply it to half the eye, okay? I don't want to bring in the black all the way. I want to create dimension. Look up. And I'm just tapping it off. Just like that. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, good. So I'm not going to use any eyelashes on her because I feel like she already has beautiful long lashes. So I'm just going to load them up with some mascara, okay? Open up. Look like at my belt area. There we go.
What kind of mascara do you use?
I like to use the Maybelline Lash Grip, like the one in the pink one. I think it's what the big fat yellow one or the pink one. I like those two. But somebody just gave me the MAC Hello Kitty one, so I was like, okay, I'll just use it. Okay. Make sure you definitely apply mascara to the bottom of the lashes, okay? Next, since I touched her skin a little bit, I'm going to touch it up with a little bit of translucent powder. I don't want anything blotchy around her skin, okay? So this is just pressed translucent powder. Okay, so next, I'm going to go ahead and go in with a red lip liner, and I'm going to outline her lip. I'm going to start on the middle of the bottom of the lip and her cupid's bow. If you have a hard time doing lips, go ahead and break it down to half the lips, and then you could just connect it into pieces, okay? Try not to do one stroke, because one stroke is probably not going to be the same thing as the other side, okay? If you want a full lip, go ahead and do an upward position and shade your lip. If you want a flat lip, go ahead and pull down, okay? So I'm going to do a nice flat long lip. So I'm going to pull down. I'm just going to use small little strokes. I'll connect it later. Right now, I just want to fill it in. And it's really important to use lip liner. That way your product doesn't bleed around your lips. And that's usually a common error. If you don't have the matching lip liner, it's okay. Just use a nude lip liner, because nude won't take away too much attention from the colored lipstick, okay? So next, I'm going to get a lip brush. And I'm going to deposit the red lipstick. I'm going to start on the center of the lip. Open up your mouth a little bit. There you go. And shade it in. Do not outline the lips with lipstick, okay? Lipstick is too creamy and it will bleed. Open up. There you go. Just like that. To finish off, I'm going to finish sculpting her cheekbones with a little bit of a bronzer. It has no shimmer because I want it really matte. I'm just going to define them a little bit and add a little bit of a highlighter. Does anybody have any questions as I'm finishing up this look? I have Susanna that's going to come up and talk about our school and our academy and what we offer. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm just going to clean up her crease quickly because she has a little bit of eyeliner. So all I'm going to do is close your eye, is cover it with some eyeshadow.
More of a matte finish as a trend now?
Yeah. Yes, I love matte. Before when it's out, actually I believe it comes with age. I feel like a lot of times when we first start, our eyes are just attracted to glitter and shimmer and all of that. And then once you start doing it for so long, you want to kind of switch it up. So you learn to balance it off a little bit differently and you lean towards shimmers. I love strict matte colors. It's harder because you have to perfect your blending. When you do shimmer colors, like if I'm in a hurry, I'll do shimmer colors because with light, everything just sparkles and it kind of blends in. With matte, everything's so flat that you can tell all the airs that you do. So if you're in a hurry, stick to shimmer. If you're not, if you have time, stick to matte colors. But definitely matte is a trend, especially with this look. And this look is so trendy nowadays, 1940s and 1950s. So yes, definitely. What do you guys think? You guys like? I'm going to finish off with some setting spray. just to give it a natural, a rejuvenated look and have everything set, okay? Thank you so much for having me, Susanna. Go ahead. Thank you, guys.
Hi, ladies. I'm gonna let them take pictures. I like that. I never get pictures taken. Unless I have something on my face, and everybody's like, let me take a picture. Okay, ladies. So
Ladies, thank you guys for coming. I'm going to go ahead and also focus on her skin.